Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
With a knock-away.
Good defense.
Durant attacking, spinning, hanging, and hitting.
That's no shot. Let's
go. Shinedown. Dance Kid Dance Tour.
Dance Kid Dance.
Live in Memphis. FedEx Forum, Saturday, August 30th. With special guests, Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit shinedown.com.
Double your chances to win all month long in March with two big promotions. On Fridays, embrace the madness and win a share of $150,000 in cash and free play. On Saturdays, starting March 8th, go for the gold and win your share of up to $10,000 in cash and free play in the 80K Fool's Gold giveaway. Enjoy live entertainment all month long and play for your chance to win big in March only at Southland Casino Hotel. Must be 21 or up. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
This week, we're going to run down the hits and the misses from WrestleMania 41.
The main event, NXT title on the line, Obafemi versus Trick Williams versus Javon Evans. One of the greatest triple threat matches I've ever seen in my life.
I'm shocked.
And it made history because it's the first time there's three black men highlighting a NXT pay-per-view.
Okay.
That was dope, too.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
I got some Cam Ward news for you, by the way.
Let me hear it.
You talk about being able to sell some jerseys. 7 minutes ago at his introductory press conference in Nashville, Warren Moon walks in. I give you permission to wear number 1. Young guy.
Wow.
He hands him the number 1 jersey.
Oh, that's amazing.
I'm going to give you permission to wear number 1. So he's going to have the number 1 Cam Ward jersey.
That's amazing.
We're rocking the Cam Ward number 1 Titans jersey.
That's amazing.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
How about Mr. Irrelevant coming from the Memphis Tigers? Yeah, how about that? New England Patriots
Second
took
time.
Memphis defensive back Kobe Minor with the 257th overall pick.
If you're the player getting drafted at that spot, it's almost better to go undrafted and pick a place as an undrafted free agent to sign with where you have a better chance
But
of
you get a
sticking.
lot of stuff. You get a parade. I think
do?
you go to Disneyland, I believe.
Mr. Irrelevant goes to Disney?
I think so.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
We're going to
Let's
do
do
our,
it.
our pick six favorite Outkast songs in honor of Outkast being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Elevators is the most creative.
Me and you.
Yes. Your mama and your cousin too.
And I can't, every time I hear somebody say me
Sitting
and
on
you,
a-
I just
go to the
immediately
next
go
one,
to
right?
it. Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
At Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Chris Vernon.
Iisalo on a motorbike. That's right. Once in your life, won't you do what feels right instead of waiting for the next.
Here we go. It's noon on GrindCityMedia.com. It's Chris Vernon Show. Welcome. It is the Monday, May 5th. 2025 edition of the show. Today on the show, we got 10 things from the weekend. Incredible NBA playoff weekend. We will get to all of that. Grizzlies hired a new coach since we last spoke. Kentucky Derby was over the weekend. Hockey was over the weekend. I turned into Festival Vernon over the weekend. We got a ton of stuff to get to. It's a Monday. It's beautiful out. Smile. Let's do it. Turn it up. Yeah. Hope everybody's having a good day. All right, we got a ton of stuff to get to from over the weekend. Was a super busy weekend with all kinds of stuff going on. And I ended up turning into Festival Vernon. We discussed this on Friday that I might get out of the house. I decided to, and I'll give a full review on what I witnessed over the weekend. Before I get to anything, I welcome John Roser to the show. John Roser, a.k.a. the Cologne Ranger, the Body Spray Bandit, Senior Sack, Johnny Backpull, Johnny Bearcat, the Grim Roser, Joe Asparagus, Johnny Nick Corp, John Lance. He's Dr. Thunder. He's Yogi Roser.
What up?
Hello, John. We have lost Devin Walker to the Nashville night scene. Evidently, one of his friends didn't make it through all that well, so he is on his way back.
He's not in the field, though.
Yeah, he's not in the field, and we are confirmed that he is okay.
Yeah.
But we are without Devin today. We got a ton of stuff to get to because this was a super busy weekend, including some outstanding basketball games that took place. I think it's time for 10 things.
I love 10 things.
I know. Number one, let's start with the West playoffs. So the Warriors won Game 7 last night against the Houston Rockets. So it was in the middle of the game, and as I was watching it unfold, I opined, this is very unlike Warriors teams of the past, where the Warriors teams of the past, you can recall, we used to always say, like, hey, you don't want to get into the 110s or you don't want to get into the 120s playing against these Warriors. Then you're playing a game you don't want to play with them. And watching the evolution, and now they're obviously older players, but watching it now, I'm watching it last night, and I'm like, what a change in scenery this is watching a Warriors game, because what used to happen is the more that game got up and down, you're in a scoring race with them. And instead, now they're taking care of the ball. They're executing their half-court offense. They're executing their half-court defense. And you're watching that game play out. And as I'm watching it, I'm going, I mean, you better get a bazillion offensive rebounds, and you better start turning this team over. Because if this is going to turn into a execution fest, you are going to get executed.
Yes.
Like, you have no chance in this. And watching Houston's half-court offense was truly abominable. Whereas on the other side, you have, and everybody goofs about, gravity, as it were, when it comes to Steph Curry, but you could watch him and the amount of open shots that it generates because of the attention that is paid to him, and you've got to have guys that knock it down. So earlier in the series, we saw Brandon Podzinski went crazy that one night, and obviously that did not last, right? Like, there are going to be the guys that are available for the open shots given the way given the three guys that they have, and they know Draymond's going to keep trying to get guys open shots, but now that whole element of adding Jimmy Butler is a different deal as well. And the benefactor last night was Buddy Hield. And it's one of those where, look, dude, Buddy Hield had 0 points in the last game. If Buddy Hield lights us up, then we're just going to have to live with it. And that is the story of every different playoff series you've ever been a part of, right? It is, if this guy is going to do this, then...
Yep.
Because something is going to be available, and my God, 22 in the first quarter. He had 6 threes in the first half, which is a Game 7 record. And interestingly enough, when I was reading about this game last night, he had 9 threes in the game. That tied a Game 7 record for three-pointers in a Game 7.
I thought it was the most.
Said it tied it.
Tied it. Okay.
You ready?
Because I know who had 8.
Who?
Is DiVincenzo.
He had 9.
He had 9.
Yeah, it said he had 9.
I thought DiVincenzo had 8 and Buddy had 9.
No, it said he had 9.
I knew DiVincenzo.
So matched.
Crazy.
Matched. Yeah, which is crazy. And obviously, it goes without saying, that is the most points anyone has ever had after going scoreless the game before, right? So, I mean, again, you go from 0 to 33, and this is why beating the Warriors and competing with the Warriors, it's like the rite of passage, right? And it has been for the last, over a decade now. And we're going to get to coming up with the Denver series as well, because we're starting with the West. But one of the things that is always abundantly true when it comes to this level of playoff basketball is that this becomes about problem solving. And people tire of me talking about taking your scars, about, going through it, and about how vet teams end up winning in the end. And the reason I talk about it is because it holds true damn near every single year we watch this, because the playoffs at this level are about problem solving. Here's what you are doing. Here's how I'm going to combat the problem that you have dealt me. And when you have been through it a million times, it's like anything else in life. If I throw you a challenge and it's the first time you're going through it, well, that's a lot different than if it's the 5,000th time you're going through it. And so, and then, obviously, it's one of those things where in retrospect, it's like, oh yeah, and this mattered, and this mattered, and this mattered, because maybe it doesn't matter if there is they say they landed the plane after Game 6. So they landed the plane after Game 6, and in the hotel, Draymond Green called a players only. And he stood up there and he said, look, I way too keyed up. I let my emotions get the best of me. That flagrant foul that I got at the beginning set the tone, and I was out of sorts, and that will never happen again. And Jimmy Butler's like, I was not myself. You will get the best version of me. I know what it takes to win. And it's like, then they all had this kumbaya, and then they came out and they bust their ass, right? Yep. And it's like, I'm watching, and one of the things that always happens, this happens with the Grizzlies, this happens with anybody that loses a playoff series, as soon as we go into, okay, your team lost, then we go into, what is your next step? And so Houston's like, oh, well, they need to get Kevin Durant, and they need to get Giannis Antetokounmpo, and they need to, right, like they've got all these assets, they can consolidate them, they can make the big move, and that may be very well true, right? Like they might be able to pull that off.
Yeah.
One of the things that I have found to be wild as I watch it unfold is watching how it played out, watching the games, and then watching what has followed. The first name that comes up in all of it is Jalen Green, right? Jalen Green had the 138-point game, but then he had nothing, right? And I will just say this. I may be the only Jalen Green defender on earth. The attention that he is paid is so much greater than his peers, right? When it comes to, there's nobody on that team that can shoot. Nobody can shoot. Like, you were just counting on Fred VanVleet threes or whatever else. And so, like, to me, I look at him and I go, that talent is just immense. There are flashes that you see, and I sit there, and we saw it last year when Şengün was out of the whole deal. Remember that whole, like, month that he was out? And Jalen Green, and it's like, because they have Jabari who stands up by the three-point line, it's like, I don't know, man. I'd be very, very careful moving off of him. To me, that was like, again, it's problem solving, and the great ones go through it and then they figure it out. Look, we lived a whole series where people thought John Morant was hurt because he was playing against Minnesota, and Minnesota just decided, like, no, not you, right? We're gonna see. You're gonna look up. And you're going to have a guy guarding you who's a wing. And then when you turn that corner after that Steven Adams, screen or Xavier Tillman in this matter screen, you're seeing somebody at the free throw line. Like, you're not getting to do any of the things that you wanted to do. And it was like, what's wrong with him? Like, what is happening? And then we get to, you win that series, you get to the next series, and he puts like 50 on Golden State. And it's like, oh, okay. Like, they guarded him straight up. And you saw the one time they guarded Jalen Green without the extra attention, he lit him up.
Yeah.
He lit him up. And so I don't know. To me, I know that is the common refrain on this, but I'd be very, very careful. And in that series, this to me is not one of the. They've got to augment their team, and they got to find some guys that could shoot. Like they got 4 guys that shoot like under 45%. Okay?
I also think if you wanted to, like, I know Jalen Green's the name that gets brought up, but like, if they wanted to go get one of those awesome players available, like, they don't have to trade him to go get one.
You don't
of those
have to.
guys. They've got so much stuff. They've got so much that they could deal. Like, tons of it.
Tons of it. You're right.
They could trade.
They have the opportunity to get a lot better.
They could deal the center who went 2 for 8 when guarded by Draymond Green. They could trade him. Like that. Şengün was terrible last night. Like, he looked like a mess.
Dude, people have brought up like the Jokic type stuff, and I've told you 100 times, he is much more like Sabonis to me.
Yeah.
Which I think can have limitations.
Yeah.
Especially for a guy that does not shoot and can be in the way, right? There is no driving lane generally when you have those guys, right? You see the drives that friggin' Jalen Green and Amen Thompson finished on.
Yeah.
The degree of difficulty on those are like 1,000 out of 10. The one Amen Thompson highlight where he did I'm like, there's like everybody's standing there, like, to finish that.
He was there last night, Game 7.
Oh, my God.
He was there for it.
Hell yeah, he was there.
He got a little cramped up or
Do you
whatever.
want to know what's super crazy about this? So they played 7 games against each other with the ebb and flow of a series. The final score of that series, Houston Rockets 728, Golden State Warriors 728.
Wow.
They scored the exact same amount of points.
Crazy.
And I really do believe it is a institution. I mean, come on.
That's insane.
Come on. The institutional knowledge and the problem solving. This is why the experience of it all.
Yeah.
Because, like, Houston just could not. They could not score. And Golden State stopped turning the ball over in this game. The other thing, and I'll give Kerr his flowers on this, I thought it was brilliant to put Looney in there.
Yeah.
I thought Looney affected the game.
He did.
He affected the game. And also, it's like, this is exactly, when we were talking about how, bro, are you really just going to watch Rudy Gobert go for 27 and 24? It's like, Steve Kerr's like, all right. And we saw Looney have a huge impact in the series they won against the Grizzlies a few years ago. And it's like, we're not just going to let this Steven Adams Şengün thing demolish us. Everybody's seen all the numbers. Like, what we're rolling with against these guys, this guy has created them an advantage that we cannot deal with.
Yeah.
So we're going to go ahead and it's like, hey, we'll dust off Kevon Looney and we're going to throw him in there and he's going to lean on you at least. He's not going to make it so that you just grab every damn offensive rebound. And so if you're able to stop them from offensive rebounding and you're able to stop them from turning you over, now you're playing them in a game where they've got a half-court score against you. And they have no chance.
No chance of doing it.
Not enough.
And they zoned too.
They damn near didn't get to 90 points.
And they started zoning
they didn't get
too.
to 90.
And they were zoning last night also.
Yeah.
Like, dude,
89 points.
No, you saw when it came time for, you thought they wanted to close it out in 6 at their place, but it was like, when it came time and it's like, okay, it's a game 7, we're here for it. And
as I've said, there are some times when it comes to the Western Conference playoffs, because now the Warriors are going to go on and meet the Wolves, and the Wolves are going to be significant favorites. Yeah. And we will see if the Wolves, much like when they were playing against the Lakers, I thought the Wolves in the Lakers series, as I started this all off, and I said the playoffs, and especially when you get to this level, and especially when you get to high stakes, are about problem solving. They presented problems that the Lakers were never going to solve. There was no solving that.
Yeah.
There was no solving. Not when you're having to run 5 guys out there and they got 8. Like, you're playing 8 on 5, and that's not including the refs, right? Like, I mean.
And you have no backline defense.
Right.
Like, the Lakers have none. They have nobody calling out any, like, no center or big man that can do
that's
that.
unsolvable.
No, nothing you can do.
It was unsolvable, right? And so, like, to me, look, when a team goes 7 for 47 from 3 and beats you, that means that's how much better they were than you.
Yeah.
Because that's impossible. Like, truly impossible. I saw this year, no team, think about this, no team had one A game shooting 15% or less from 3. No team.
Yeah.
In any game. And by the way, nobody ever does that. Like, if you shoot like hell, you shoot 20. Right? 15%.
We know. We've had some bad three-point shooting.
Let's just say 15% from 3 at a high volume. That is a loss.
Yeah, End of story. Yeah, 7 for 47 is crazy. Like, you see 7 for 28. Like, that happens. But eventually, if you're not making it, you do stop taking. Like, you don't take them.
Even the Celtics lose.
Right.
Like that. Now, I will say this. I know that everybody has been like, and especially because of how impressive they were against the Lakers versus how hard fought that was against the Rockets for the Warriors.
Yeah.
And it might be so that they present some real problems for them. I also think what you are going to see, just my opinion, what you are going to see from the Warriors and the Timberwolves, the Warriors are going to be able to make the Timberwolves look much worse than the Lakers ever did. Because what they are very good at is directing what they want.
Yeah.
Right? They are very good, and this is the problem solving of it all. It might be so that the Wolves are just too big, too strong, too whatever. But in terms of game planning it out and then executing to where we are going to make the guy that you don't want to have to do this. And I'm sure that JJ Redick would tell you, like, look, Jaden McDaniels averaged 12 points a game, and then he had 28 against us, and then he had 30 against us, and then, Naz Reid had this. And again, they might just have too much. They might.
Yeah.
But I will say this. You're going to realize that this Warrior squad defensively is going to be much better equipped to expose the issues that the Timberwolves can have offensively at times.
Draymond Green is...
That's it.
Would be the best defender on the Lakers team. Jimmy Butler probably would too. Like,
right.
And LeBron can play when he wants to. But yeah.
Correct. And so I actually think that's going to be a very good series.
I do too. I think the Wolves are probably favored because game 1's probably going to go their way.
Yes.
Short turnaround. Wolves are rested. Like, you could easily see Minnesota.
But I think that's going to be a good series and super entertaining.
I do too.
And the other thing is this: they're not going to be any more physical than that Rockets team was.
No, and it's not
that
like it's
Rockets team was ready for war. They can't shoot,
No,
and they
they
can't
can't.
play offense.
No.
But my God, they make your life hard.
They had
I mean,
they got the Fred VanVleet crazy game. They got the one like VanVleet where he was like 8 of 12 from 3, but like.
And they got the 38 from Jalen
And they got the
Green.
38 from Green,
again,
but
but
like-
when push came to shove, and it's like, we've got to execute, we've got to
Yeah.
get buckets. They still had, and this was one of the things that I told you when it looked like, this was going to be for the right to play the Rockets. I'm like, man, they got 4 guys that in their rotation that are under 45% from the field. And the guy that shoots over 50%, he only shoots 2s.
Yeah.
In Şengün.
Yeah.
Right? Like the other guys, it's like.
Now the thought would be that when, as you mentioned about Jalen Green, when they show the 2 at Jalen Green and there's nobody else that can do anything, when they do that to Ant, he has gotten so much better at knowing how to make the right read.
You're right.
And they've got better players around there. McDaniels is experienced. DiVincenzo.
Absolutely. But I'm saying what they're going to do is you're going to have, like, Mike Conley's going to have to make shots. Jay McDaniel's going to have to make shots. And Rudy Gobert's going to have to do something.
I could also see them. I could also see the Warriors. One thing the Lakers did not do is, like, all the talk was coming into the playoffs with the Timberwolves was like, dude, Julius Randle's playoff numbers are terrible.
Yep.
Dude, Randle had monster games in that series.
Absolutely.
And I don't think Golden State's going to let that happen.
No.
They'll find a way to try to render him, I don't know, useless, but,
Again, who is the best perimeter defender on the Lakers? LeBron?
Yeah, I was going to be like, do they have, I mean, Finney Smith, they've got
You're right,
yeah.
Finney Smith.
Yeah.
But, again, Finney Smith was not able to be deployed.
No.
You can only deploy him on one guy.
And they also have no backline help calling out. They don't have anybody back there, and Draymond will be back there.
Yep. I think it's going to be a really good series.
I think so, too.
On the other one, the Nuggets and the Nuggets in Oklahoma City starts tonight. Quick turnaround with the Nuggets winning that Game 7. But, look, we came in here on Friday, and I said, I know we just watched the Clippers Game 6. I said this on the mismatch. I said this on this show on Friday. I don't like their chances. I hated the way they ended that game. They were up so big, and then they just couldn't score, and it took this weird Norm Powell 3 to get, or else the whole, and a couple of Westbrook missed layups, or the whole thing just felt like it was caving in on them. And it was one of those moments where you're like, you want James Harden in a Game 7? James Harden put up concert dates again.
Yeah.
And it felt like, back to the original point, there's problem solving that goes on in these, and you are now going to be going back to Denver, flying back there, altitude, the whole thing, and that team was out for blood in that game. Just out for blood in the game. And obviously, you saw a level of execution and energy that, again, one team is going through it for though they are loaded with veterans, they were also like, there's a problem solving that Denver has had to do 100 million times. Now, they got a core group that has been in a lot of games and a lot of big games in order to figure out how they want, but their level of energy and everything they brought to the table. And then on the other side, like, there was no way the Clippers were going to win a game where James Harden has a game like that.
Right.
Like, that wasn't happening. And did you see last night, and I know you used to be a Harden guy.
Yeah.
That is now.
5, 6, and 7 still hadn't scored 20 or whatever.
Oh, no. This one's gonna blow your mind. I don't want to misquote it, so I'm gonna find it. But it was honestly one of the most appalling things I have ever seen in my life, if I'm being honest. James Harden has 55 playoff games with under 4 field goals made.
Damn, it's tough.
55?
Yeah, it's tough. That's tough.
Wow. Russell Westbrook, on the other hand, we will get to him in a little bit. But that was super impressive for Denver. I did think that because of the wings that you had some really nice things to bring to the table against Oklahoma City if you are the Clippers. But obviously, when we saw that play out, this now sets up the whole, who's the real MVP thing. And getting to see Jokic and that group from the Nuggets go up against this team that was 60-something win team and the number 1 seed is going to be super entertaining. I can't wait for this, honestly. I cannot wait for this. And we will see. I did think as the series went on, the Grizzlies did some really good things against Oklahoma City. The Nuggets are infinitely better than the Grizzlies.
Way better than
And
us,
so
yeah.
now we're going to see, right? If they're able to, again, the thing that the vet teams can do is dictate the terms of engagement.
Yeah.
Are they able to do that against that Thunder team? Are they going to be able to dictate the terms of engagement? The other thing is, what do they have for Jokic? Guess we'll see. Guess we'll see what they have for Jokic. Come on.
I mean, Jokic is the best player in the series.
I thought Zubac did great.
Yeah.
Leaning on him for 7 games.
We'll see what, and then you get to deal with Hartenstein, Chet.
Oh, he'll put Chet into the stanchion.
Chet's not nearly strong enough for him. But Hartenstein, you're dealing with pretty much the exact same thing as Zubac. So I'm interested who guards, because, they ended up putting, Gordon guarded Kawhi a bunch. Do they end up throwing Gordon on SGA?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Might be so.
Yeah.
Number 2, the East playoffs. So we got Boston and New York playing against each other tonight. Boston had handled them during the regular season, so it's going to take an effort out of the Knicks that we have not seen thus far this year against the Celtics. The Celtics just had, they gave them absolute fits. You remember at the very beginning of the season where they just mauled them, and it was just like, bro, are they really going to shoot 80% from 3? You remember that first Celtics-Knicks game of the year, and it was like, you just ran into it. Like, we were all like, ooh, and the Knicks, and, now they got Mikal Bridges and Angie and Anunoby, and they got, it's a team and now they got Cat, so now they got to space it out even more, and it's like, they just ran into a tsunami. It'll be interesting because the Celtics have been kind of banged up, and I did think Orlando, a lot like Houston, could not score, but, defensively, they did give the Celtics problems. The numbers were super manageable if you could score, but you can't score, right?
Right, yeah.
And so that's the thing with the Knicks. The Knicks all too often want to get into a game where, it's a little easier game that they, remember it felt like the Pacers duped them into that last year. And I was thinking, man, you might want to slow this thing down. It'd be interesting to see if that Knicks defense can show up. And also, how banged up is Drew Holiday? How banged up is all these guys?
The Celtics injuries
they got a little, they're a little worse for wear.
And that Holiday thing's a hamstring, so.
Right. So you have no idea. and also, he is a massively impactful player for them, especially when you're facing Jalen Brunson.
Yes.
Which they'll probably just deploy a big wing on him anyway. But still, Holiday presents some real problems for everybody. I'm super excited for that. The Knicks were not able to be competitive with them during the year, and so I am hopeful that is more competitive than it was sometimes when they matched up during the season, because it was seemingly a terrible matchup for them.
Yeah, Holiday was really, really good against the Knicks in the regular season too.
So we got that. We got that one, and then we had the Eastern Conference playoffs start yesterday with the Cavaliers and the Pacers, and that Cavs arena was on absolute fire. You and I were texting about this yesterday. Absolute fire. I mean, when they went on that run in the third quarter and Donovan Mitchell's driving to the basket every time and then he ends up spiking one down in traffic, or I guess just cutting through traffic to spike one down after he had missed a three. It was like, oh my God, this is the playoff environment rewarded. Roof's coming off, whole thing, and it's like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And then the Pacers just like settled down, made some shots. Next thing you know, they're got their lead back going into the fourth quarter. And then the fourth quarter just made winning play after winning play, made open shot after open shot. It hit contested shots. I mean, the Pacers were so impressive to be able to, after that wave came in the third quarter, to stymie that and then play the fourth quarter that they did. Halliburton was awesome setting up his teammates, and they are just relentless pressure, it feels like. It's just constant. Every time you miss a shot, you're just freaking running back down the court, and they're trying to get something quick on you, and they're leaking out on long rebounds, and it's just a constant pressure that they put on you.
And when they do bring the ball to the court, they got so many guys that then they don't just stop at the three-point line and wait for somebody else to come in. Like, they drive the ball in just a couple of steps, which brings it in. Then they kick, and they just get you moving. They are, man. When Miles Turner hit that three at the end of the third quarter,
Huge.
I was like, oh, that's massive right there.
Well, and the other thing is, I texted Jacoby in the first half as the Pacers were playing really well.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I don't know. I feel like the Cavs are getting a million open, like wide open, butt naked threes, and they're just not making any of them. They're eventually going to start making these. And they just didn't.
They didn't make them. No.
And then I went back, and you know what I looked up, and it told me what I thought it would tell me. That the Cavs should have won that game going away. That if they got those same shots again, they win that game going away.
Yeah.
They should have scored over 120 points with the shots they got. What did they end up from three? I mean, they missed everything.
9 of 38 from three.
They missed everything.
Yeah.
If you go look at those threes, like they created all the shots they want to create. Now, obviously, look, and I'm saying that's even without Darius Garland. But again, there might be part of this where you're just going, yeah, dude guess
Mitchell
what?
was 1 for 11 from 3.
I mean, guess what happens? Some of these guys are just not going to make the threes in the postseason that you think they're going to make during the regular season, right? A regular season wide open three by many of the Grizzlies is a tremendous shot that is hit at a high rate. And then you saw it in the playoffs, right? Like, Conchar wasn't even close. John Conchar could shoot that shot 100 million times. And it's like, I mean, Dean Wade might not make them. Sham Merrill might not make, you know what I mean? Like, you don't know. There's Garland you're counting on, and obviously Donovan Mitchell. You're counting on being able to make these. I just thought, I don't know. I was super impressed with the Pacers on the other end. And this is why games aren't played on paper. They're played on a basketball court. On paper, like I thought, man, the Cavs got what they wanted to get. They're just not making them. And on the other hand, Pacers, like you mentioned the Turner three. Bro, how about the Nembhard three?
My
gosh. He didn't even have his feet set.
I
know the run. He's like on the run.
Yeah.
Like a LaMelo Ball shot.
He hit a couple of them that I was like, what?
You know what? And there was a moment, too, because I think that people don't... I think you watch the Pacers, and you don't think that they necessarily have, like, an edge like some of the other teams because they fly up and down the court so much. Bro, Neesmith's got an edge to him.
I love him.
And let me tell you the other one. Did you see Matherin barking at
Matherin.
DeAndre Hunter?
Yeah, Matherin's
at the free throw line.
Yeah.
He's barking at him, and then Hunter gets that breakaway, and that should have been a foul, by the way.
Absolutely should have been a foul.
That was crazy.
Yeah, it was
How did
insane.
they review that and it's not a foul?
I literally put his hand like right into his chest before he went and blocked it. Like,
Bro, but
absolutely a foul.
He packed that thing and then stood over him.
No, Matherin's...
And I'm like...
Canadian.
Hold on now.
He's there for it. He's crazy.
I mean, he's the guy that mouthed off to Giannis. Like, he's got an edge to him. You know
He's
what
got
I mean?
an edge to
He's
him.
got an edge. Look at this block. Look, forget that it was a foul. That block is crazy. And then stood over him like, yo, get up, dog. Hey, he had just been yelling at him at the free throw line, and DeAndre Hunter was like, yeah, whatever. And then this happened? Oh, my God.
We may be able to get one of those guys this offseason.
This is going to be awesome. I think Pacers-Cavs is going to be great.
I think Pacers-Cavs is going to be really good,
I'll be stunned if we don't get 6 and 7 out of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think on the other for the Cavs, like, I know they got wide open looks, but, like, and I know he has had an awesome season. I know he has. It has been a revelation season for Ty Jerome. Dude, it is the playoffs, and we're getting deeper and deeper. Ty Jerome taking 20 shots and Evan Mobley taking 13 is like, come on, man. Like, that can't, like, Evan Mobley, you got to take more than that.
Dictate the terms.
Yeah.
Right?
Carlisle's got a hell of a lot of experience over there.
Every time you see this kind of stuff, bro, I promise you that was not the plan.
Yeah.
I mean,
so how do they respond?
They end up losing the game. I know we went crazy over, and we love and we believe in Scottie Pippen, right? But everybody's super down on Desmond Bane. Everybody's super down on Jaren Jackson Jr. There's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. And the great players, again, problem solve, figure it out, and still are able to, help their team win the games.
Yeah.
Right? Which is what did not happen. But make no mistake, there's a reason Scottie Pippen was able to get 30-something points. So they want. They want that to be. And if he gets you home, he gets you home.
Right.
What they're not going to let happen is Desmond Bane running free and having any kind of success. And they're not going to let Jaren Jackson Jr. just operate.
Yeah.
I mean, you get to dictate terms, especially if you've got the personnel to be able to do it. And so it was a lot of Ty Jerome, though. You're right.
A lot of Ty Jerome.
Well, Ty Jerome at 25 minutes is a lot different than Ty Jerome at 35 minutes.
Right.
And again, they just need Garland back. Mm-hmm. They need Garland back.
Yeah.
That is not the same team.
It's not.
Especially, but again, I liked the way they played, and I just thought, I mean, honestly, I don't think that's one of those. Sometimes you go, boy, they presented something that is just not going to be easy to deal with. I looked at that and go, that's going to be your fate if you shoot 9 of, what is it?
I would 8 9 of 38.
You're not winning.
I will say, dude, Donovan Mitchell's not going to go 1 for 11 from 3. Like, he's just too good for that. Like, but I could see Ty Jerome shooting poor. Like, I don't think Mitchell's going.
Let's go back in time, though, right? 10 minutes ago, when I talked about Minnesota. Like, the fact that they could win going 7 for 47 tells me everything I need to know about them and the Lakers. I promise you this. The Cavaliers are never winning a game. They go 9 of 38 from 3. Never. They're never winning a game like that. They can't.
Not against a team that is
not
good
when and then again, not with the defense that they bring to the table.
Yeah.
Like that Minnesota, like they can survive.
Yeah.
And play one of those. Minnesota can score with you.
Yeah.
And Minnesota can also execute with you. But I do think what's going to be fascinating about this is, again, I think the Warriors are going to want to dictate the terms and turn it into half court.
Yeah.
And just say, fine. Your spacing is not going to be that good in the half court.
Yeah.
But what you're not going to do is turn us over a million times.
Right.
And we run a play, you run a play. Let's see who can out execute each other.
Yeah.
And let's see who's going to be more patient about it. And on the Cavs front, they're just going to have to outscore the Pacers, and they can if they make their shots. Like they should have yesterday. I thought they missed everything.
They did.
They missed everything. And not to mention, every big shot that would have, like, again, the whole place would have been on fire. That crowd was ready for it.
Yeah.
All you had to do was make a couple of the big ones.
That crowd was crazy.
Get you a little. You saw when they got on that run in the third quarter, it was like.
Announcers talked about it was Spiro Ditas and Greg Anthony. They both talked about it multiple times how loud that crowd was.
You know I like Greg Anthony.
Yeah.
Can we talk about why his audio is horrible?
Yeah, it was almost.
It's like he's on a walkie-talkie. How is this the playoffs?
It didn't feel like he was in the arena.
I know.
It felt like he was
remote.
like COVID, remote.
Yes.
Yeah, like remote calling the game.
Do we have a picture of him in the arena?
Like he had to be quiet because like his kids were asleep upstairs or in the next room or something.
It just was a totally different audio.
It did.
I didn't get that.
Yeah, I didn't think his energy matched Spiro's.
The other thing,
because
and I don't know what was wrong with his headset. How can we not get a good headset for him in the playoffs? This has happened a couple of times too, where you get this weird the headsets sound different. Yeah. One guy's real loud, and then the other guy sounds like he's in a wind tunnel.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
I don't know why.
This
is why NBC and Amazon are taking.
Hey, let me tell you something. It's unacceptable.
Yeah.
I'm not putting up with it.
Enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
By the way, NBC has been doing a great job on the social channels, putting out their promos for getting the NBA next year.
Oh, they have?
The one they put out over the weekend was great.
All right.
Yeah.
Number 3. All right, I saved this after my playoff talk. This is certainly there at the very top of the greatest technical fouls ever. I really believe this.
Lou is now looking to the bench to make some other changes. Westbrook.
Okay.
Another jam.
Okay.
Technical foul on Westbrook for hanging on the rim. But the fiery Russell Westbrook.
Okay. The swinging on, first the pickoff and then the full thing. Then swinging on the rim, then getting down, then looking at the ref and going. And then turning around and yelling all manner of obscenities and for them to take their ass home.
They did, yeah.
After they chose the wrong guy, in his words. Bro. That was. You ever wonder why I've always had an affinity for Russell Westbrook? That is honestly the only video I will ever show anybody. Why? Why have I always had an affinity for Russell Westbrook? I understand his faults. I understand the whirlwind. I understand the good and the bad that comes with it. I also understand that kind of thing takes place. Play it again. This is the great. I mean, I was going absolutely bonkers. Because every media member hates Russell Westbrook, and I got it. But, dude.
Westbrook. Technical foul on Westbrook for hanging on the rim. But the fiery Russell Westbrook.
And he's just yelling at the crowd. That's an all-timer.
How can you not want to follow that guy?
That's an all-timer. Look.
Bro, when it's time to run into the fire,
he's there.
I mean,
he ain't tippy-toeing on the hot coals. He's freaking jumping.
And as many arguments as I had over the years about, there's Westbrook guys and there's Harden guys.
That is an amazing picture.
And for him to have a better game than James Harden in a Game 7 was just so perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved it so much. And we'll see if he can still muster that fire against Oklahoma City. But again, he's one of those guys that it's like, how can you, if you're playing with him, it's non-negotiable.
There's a reason Jokic
it's non-negotiable.
wanted him. There's a reason Jokic wanted him on that team.
It's non-negotiable. Look, he's going 100% every time he touches the floor.
Yeah.
That's why I've always had an affinity for him. And now we got Russell Westbrook back in Oklahoma City.
Just a reminder, Russell Westbrook has a $3.4 million player option for next year. So he could be an available free agent.
Dude, there is a level of intensity work ethic, and all that stuff that he brings to the table that, again, it's a box score is never going to show that. And I get it. I understand. I trust me. I got the shooting percentage. I know the faults. I also know that, which is get your ass out of here. Take your ass back home.
And I
am going to swing on this rim like it's a jungle gym, then look at the ref and
tell him to
dude. How can you not love this? This is everything I love. This is everything I love.
That is the best.
I would run through a wall for this guy.
Did he say MF are soft? Is that what he said right there at the end of that? He might have said that.
He showed up.
He showed up.
He showed up and showed out.
He did.
When it mattered most. James Harden, on the other hand, again, small game James. Take a quick break. We're going to come back, knock out the rest of these on the other side. Chris Vernon Show.
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
This felt exceptionally personal with Shedeur Sanders, and it will never sit right with me.
Somebody may have missed out on a good quarterback. I don't know if Shedeur is going to be a hit or not. I am all for not taking okay quarterbacks early because you're just desperate for a quarterback. I'm fine with that. But that's not what this is.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
This week, we're going to run down the hits and the misses from WrestleMania 41.
The main event, NXT title on the line, Obafemi versus Trick Williams versus Javon Evans. One of the greatest triple threat matches I've ever seen in my life.
I'm shocked.
And it made history because it's the first time there's 3 black men highlighting a NXT pay-per-view.
Okay.
That was dope too.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
How about Mr. Irrelevant coming from the Memphis Tigers? Yeah, how about that? New England Patriots
Second
took
time.
Memphis defensive back Kobe Minor with the 257th overall pick.
If you're the player getting drafted at that spot, it's almost better to go undrafted and pick a place as an undrafted free agent to sign with where you have a better chance
But
of
you get a
sticking.
lot of stuff. You get a parade. I think
do?
you go to Disneyland, I believe.
Mr. Irrelevant goes to Disney?
I think so.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
We're going to
Let's
do
do
our,
it.
our pick six favorite Outkast songs in honor of Outkast being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Elevators is the most creative.
Me and you.
Yes. Your mama and your cousin too.
And I can't. Every time I hear somebody say me
Sitting
and
on
you,
it.
I just
go to the next one, right?
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Welcome back to the Chris Vernon Show on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, back to your host, Chris
On one morning
Vernon.
bright and clear, my old folks and I drew near, just a village down in sunny Tennessee. I'd been speeding on that train that would bring me back again to that girl I left in sunny Tennessee. I could hear those voices singing as she bid farewell to me. Far across the fields of cotton, my old homestead I could see. As the moon rose in its glory, then I told my saddest story.
All right, we're back. Chris Vernon Show. All right, let's get back to the 10 things from the weekend. Number 4. Grizzlies hired Tuomas Iisalo. All right, so everybody was
like right when we got off the air.
Do you think that was coincidence?
I mean, I'd like to think that, like, we're not, just to stay humble.
But our shows are done for the day.
Like, all the shows are done for the day.
Right.
That, like, I want to be humble enough that's like, no, they don't care about us.
Like Pop Star.
Right.
With Andy Samberg. I'm so humble.
Right.
I am the most humblest.
Great movie if anybody's never seen it. Pop Star. Never
It's
stop
on Amazon
popping.
Prime.
Never stop
right
popping.
now.
Yeah, don't stop popping. Great movie.
Great.
I'd like to think that we don't have that hashtag influence, but I was texting with Jessica Benson Friday afternoon, and it absolutely crossed both of our minds. that like
I went
all of
off
our
the
shows
air.
are all of our shows are done for the day.
I literally pulled into my house, and the press release came out, and I'm like,
yeah.
Now, in fairness, they fired Taylor 10 minutes before I went on the air.
They did.
So,
they absolutely did that.
So, but again, that might have been more popular. I don't know. Again, we were all, that was shocking the day that it happened. But look, seems like a nice guy. I like his press conferences. He's certainly much more descriptive about things than Taylor was. And
he loves shot quality, too.
Well, you know, they brought him in a fan of his. Like, I think, look, if there's any mistake, and I will say, I do not think that Taylor got the fairest shake. I don't. I think that when you bring in, and Iisalo might have not gotten the fairest shake. Like, hopefully they learn from this, right?
I think it's, yeah.
And they just, my advice, again, no one listens to me. Let him hire his own guys that he wants to hire. Let him hire them. Let him interview them. Let him hire his staff, right? Like, there's a comfort level that goes along with that. Let him bring in his guys. I thought that outsourcing, we're bringing this guy from this place, and we're bringing this guy from this place, and we're bringing this guy from this place, and we're going to run these two guys' offenses. But we brought, the other guy that we brought, St. Andrews, last year he was the defensive coordinator, but now he's the offensive coordinator because that works. Because that's like, I don't know, what's the guy's name that went to, remember when they tried this in New England? Patricia.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, can't be the offensive coordinator now. He's the defensive guy. Anyway, he was a defensive genius or offensive genius, and he was it was offense first. last year was offense. He was an offensive genius.
Yeah.
They brought him in because he's an offensive genius. And this year he's a defensive coordinator. And he got fired too. So, like, okay. And then they brought in the LaRoche guy, and it was his offense. But Iisalo ran a more pick-and-roll heavy offense, and so it wasn't exactly that. And so they distance Iisalo from the offense that they brought in. And I was like, what has happened here? Like,
you kind of see how things started to go off the rails.
It was just odd,
like
right?
it's all,
but like even when you read, it's like an Iisalo with his pick and roll heavy offense. Like, hold on. So they brought in a guy who was super successful, who they really believed in, who basically they sat next to Taylor as his successor. This happened, by the way. Anytime they bring in somebody, I've been through this 5 times, right? Like, okay, so now when we disagree with Lionel Hollins, now we can just move Dave Yeager over. When we disagree with David Fisdale, we can just move JB over. And so they had the position, Taylor's probably pretty smart. He's like, all right, they ain't going to move Brad Jones over. And then they brought in Anthony Carter out of nowhere, right? It's like, okay. And it's like, maybe he could move up. This was an obvious one. When you pay somebody's big buyout to get him over. But then, again, they could explain this to me, I'm sure, in a much better way that would make more sense. But this is how it appears to a fan like me. They brought the guy in. They paid his payout. They thought he was, brilliant guy. I have no reason to believe that he is not a brilliant guy. I have no reason to believe. Like, obviously, I'm the one that said, you don't have nearly the coaching problem that you think you have. You've got a personnel problem.
Yeah.
You've got 3 high-level NBA starters on this team. That's not enough. Sorry, it's not. When we can argue who the 4th best player is, you got a problem. Okay? Let's set that aside. So they got the big buyout. They brought him here. And then now that the story is, so of course then Taylor ends up getting fired. And then Iisalo is going to take over. It's like, oh, well, that offense that Ja hated and everybody hated? Right? Bane didn't like it, and Edie didn't like it, and Ja didn't like it. So nobody liked this. Nobody enjoyed it, except for maybe Jaren, who was having an all-NBA year, but then that went away. Possibly. We'll see. But then, right, when he got the job, it's like, now, no. That wasn't that offense. It was the offense of the 4th assistant.
Yes.
And it was like, huh? What? And then even the quotes from Tuomas Iisalo was like, I'm just trying to augment and help as much as I could, whatever. Like, basically, yeah, they brought me in, but we weren't running what I would have run. Like, what are we doing here? Like, I'm so confused. And so then they fired the guy that, but then the other guys were the guys that were instructing it's there, right? This whole offense that doesn't use screens and all this stuff.
They chase space.
Yeah, that wasn't Iisalo, and it wasn't Taylor, and it was. So again, hopefully lessons learned. Hopefully lessons learned from this. Because you know what that feels like to me? This is exactly what this feels like to me. Way too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah.
That's too many. That's too many cooks in the kitchen. You had your head coach. You had a guy you brought in who had no prior relationship with from overseas. You brought in a trainer who helped install an offense. You had a defensive coordinator that was an offensive coordinator. And it's like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Like, bro, just let him hire his guys that he's comfortable with that can implement what he wants to implement. That's what I would say. And most importantly, change the roster. That's what matters. That's what matters. If you
don't get the roster better, he's set up for failure anyway.
Yeah, it's not like we beat anybody good with him. So
right,
okay. But I will say this:
they went 5-10.
Here's what I'm going to tell you. Here's the positives, and the reason I am hopeful. He got Ja happy and unlocked again. That's number one, and it's by far the most important thing. I watched a guy who was unhappy all year standing in the corner half the time And I saw him walk over to the bench yelling, stupid effing offense. I mean, he hated it. He hated it. Anybody that watched the games knew. He hated it. So he unlocked that. He got Edey playing by far his best basketball of the season. And this is what I'd say. What you want guys to do is to be able to handle, playoff basketball and strategy and changing things or whatever. Bro, we were up 27 on Oklahoma City when Ja went out. Like, that happened.
Yeah.
Now, again, it caved in after that, so you don't get credit for, you don't get credit for being up 27, but I think you and I both feel the same way. If they would have won that game, and maybe even 4, like if they would have won 1 or 2 games against Oklahoma City, people would view this a lot differently. They would have.
The hiring.
And honestly, they could have if Ja doesn't get hurt. I believe that. So, again,
maybe.
I don't expect anybody to be over the moon for this.
Yeah.
We don't know. How can we know?
I think
How could we know?
My biggest concern is the Jaren aspect of it. Like,
right.
It's good for Ja. It's good for Edey. But Ja always gets hurt.
Right.
So that's great. It's good for him, but he's a guy who gets injured all the time. So we're going to run tons of high pick and roll with them. But, like, what are we relegating Jaren to the corner? Like,
right.
What are we doing here?
Right.
Like,
you're right.
They've got to find a way to make those two guys be awesome together.
Simultaneously. I agree.
It's still the challenge.
That's right. That's right.
So.
Number 5. I'm done with hockey. I'm done. I'm done with
Done with it. Done with hockey.
For 2025.
Oh, okay.
So, that
was a heartbreaker last night. I watched some of it.
So I'm not going to act like my connection to hockey is obviously playing growing up and going to every Blues game growing up. Because of my involvement with the NBA and doing the NBA podcast, I don't spend my nights watching hockey. Like, I'm not into it like I was. It was the only thing that mattered to me as a teenager, right? Like, I cared about the other sports, but it was the one that I cared about the most. And because I was at games all the time, and it was a thing me and my dad did. And my dad still watches every Blues game and is super into it. And so, of course, I have been interested in what has gone on with the Blues as they turned up in the second half of the season, then got to the very last game of the season, which they had to win to make the playoffs after they kind of cratered the last week. And then they got into the playoffs, and then they played against Winnipeg, and then they had a game 6 at home, and they rocked Winnipeg. And I'm like, all right, I'm in. Game 7 on the road, go make it happen. And they went up, they scored 2 goals in maybe the first 10 minutes of the game. I mean, it was lit. They scored on the first shot of the game. Kyrou had a tip in.
Yeah.
And then they're up 3-1 with less than 2 minutes to go. I mean, it's got to be a 99.9% chance of winning. I mean, seriously. When you're up 2 with less than 2 minutes to go. So they give up the first goal, and I'm like, just hold on for dear life. Just hold on, right? It's an empty net. There's a couple times where they screwed up with the empty net situation. Could have skated longer with it. Look, you're going to be able to go back and replay 100 million things when a catastrophe takes place. But even if you go back, there's 12 seconds left, and there's a scrum in the corner. And I'm like, just pin it. Just pin it. Now the ball, now the puck comes up top. He fans it, gets it back, and oh my God!
Oh, I saw it. Yeah, and that crowd went nuts. Who is calling the game, by the way?
I'm not kidding. That was. I was so much more emotional over that than I was the game winner. Once they blown it, I was resigned. I was not like, I wanted them to win, but I was like, if this happens, I'm going to be shocked. I know the way this ends. You don't win the game that you were up by 2 with 2 minutes left to go, and they have tied it with 1.6 left. Like, you're probably not winning that game. Right?
Right.
So I had to. It was that one. Was the one that was like the heartbreak. I was like, come on, bro. 1.6, really? How? And what's crazy is I called my dad right after it, because I was gonna go have to pick up my daughter last night, and and she was getting back home, which I'll tell you about in a minute. But I called him, and I was like, dude. And he was like, I thought that could happen. And I was like, what? And he's like, I've been watching them all year. He's like, I don't know, man. I thought that could happen. Like, he wasn't
Something,
like,
yeah.
it was something like his level of trust in them being able to get it done was not like, he was like, he felt it coming.
In his defense, he'd say,
no, he watches all the games. No,
when you watch everything that religiously,
and I don't tune in.
You know there's something about your team that's a little off.
Right.
Like,
and he's like, I thought that could happen. I was like, that is the weirdest response.
Yeah.
Again, but I'm not locked in. You know what I mean? I haven't been watching them all season long. So, I mean, he's been through the wars watching them and, like, was like, I thought that could happen.
It's a little intuition,
like,
you know?
I don't
like
know. Yeah, they were up 3-1. It's like, what? Nobody loses up 3-1 with 2 minutes to go.
Yeah.
It never happens. It never happened.
Yeah.
And yet he was like, I thought that could happen. I was like, damn.
The fact that they didn't lose like immediately in overtime was pretty impressive. Because
played a whole overtime.
That's like, and almost the whole second overtime.
Yeah, that
like
was
what? It was down to
wild.
the last 3 minutes or whatever.
Yeah, that was terrible. Truly terrible. So as I said, I couldn't go down to his house. I'm glad that we were not watching it together. But I couldn't go down there because I had to go pick up my daughter. Oh, you're going to love this. So in a moment, I'm going to tell you about a bunch of stuff that I did this weekend. Part of that is because I had my son, and so it was kind of like just a boys' weekend where I was taking him to go do stuff because my wife and daughter went out of town for a soccer tournament. She's on this state team where they have to go out of town and play everybody, and this one was in, I think, Nashville and then Cookeville or something like that. Yeah. Anyways, I missed a fiasco with, last week when we were talking about John Halliburton and whatever, and I was talking to you about parents, being overzealous at sporting events and whatever, and how I've lived this so much. I've never really had like a soccer one because I just pop up my lawn chair. I don't really know what's going on most of the time anyway, and
just kick it at the goal.
Yeah, I'm just rooting for her, and you know what I mean? Like, I'm not overzealous, let's say, when it comes to it. I root for my daughter, and I want her to do great, and I want her to have fun and play with her, right? So, anyway, I miss out. Like, my wife is never, like, same way as me, right? Like, we don't say anything to her, really. Like, the only thing I ever talk to her about is if I think she hasn't played that hard, right? I was like, if you just lollygag around, I'm not coming to these, right? Like, go as hard as you can. And if it doesn't end up good, it doesn't end up good, right? It's what it's a mantra of mine, always. So, evidently, I missed like a whole fiasco. So they're in this league, and they have played, and it's the one time, because I know all the parents, and we don't really have any, like, super overzealous parents that yell at people or whatever, but evidently everybody freaked out about this because we have played this same team from Chattanooga, and the Chattanooga team. Now, keep in mind, these girls are in like 5th and 6th grade, okay? So the first time they played was about 3 weeks or a month ago. And they told me, they came back home and they were, this was 3 weeks ago. They were all upset because they played a 1-1 game. They drove all the way to Chattanooga to play this team or whatever, and then they ended up tying the game, whatever. And I was like, well, what happened? They're like, we're playing in this game, and we're up 1-0. They've got the ball. They're going downfield, like pressure's on, and a girl on the other team hits the ground. Like, not near the play.
Like, just passes out?
No, hits the ground and go, my leg!
Oh, like an Ole Miss fake injury thing.
My leg! So then they stop the game, right? The ref has to, like, stop the game. Every player gets down on a knee. They walk her over to the side, whatever. She's like, you know?
Oh, she's really hurt.
And so now it's a stop ball. They get the ball, they set up this thing, and then they go and score, like, immediately, right after this takes place. This is, like, right at the end of the game. 1-1 tie game.
Oh.
So, whatever. It was annoying. Nobody really knew what was going on, like, whatever. So they're in the game this weekend, again. 1-0, have the game, pressure. A girl from the other team runs over and she goes, runs to the ref. I can't breathe. And starts saying she can't breathe. And they're like, what? And so then the ref like has to stop the game. All the players take a knee, whatever. They take the girl out of the game, whatever. They come back and set up their thing. They go and score again. And the parents, so one of the parents on our side was like down near them and heard their coach go down. It's like a strategy they use.
So
it's
they're
like a
faking
strategy
it.
they use.
It's like Ole Miss football faking injuries.
It really is.
Yeah.
But they're 11-year-old girls.
That's insane.
So then the parents go crazy.
Hang on. Why do they have to get down on one knee?
That's what happens when somebody gets hurt in the game.
Is this like a thing you have to do?
Yeah.
Okay, like a
and then they
sportsmanship
stop
thing.
the game.
Okay.
And then they stop the game and whatever.
What if you said I'm not going to get down on one knee?
I don't know, but this has happened. No, this happened twice. Is
it the same team?
Yes!
It's the same team that does this crap.
Twice! Bro, I swear, if we play them in what's called the State Cup, I'll be there for that one.
Oh, my God.
I will for sure. They've done it, and like she's like, what are the like the girl, whoever comes out of the game is not part of the play. Not part of the play. Like, it's not something like in the action. Because that happens, right? Girls get kicked in the shin, girls fall down, girls whatever. It's always somebody away from the action. And so anyway, there was a parent that heard the coach yell at the girl, go down. And she goes, I can't breathe. She started saying she was hyperventilating. So the first time it was a leg injury, and now it was a hyperventilation. And I was like, it's pretty sorry if you accuse someone of doing this.
Gosh.
And then they were like, no, we heard him. And so then the ref comes and starts screaming at the parents. Because they're like, no.
Yeah.
Like, they can't do this.
You're not allowed to fake injuries.
They can't do this every game.
There's also a sportsmanship thing.
And the ref's like, no, you are upsetting their team and whatever. And they're like,
my gosh.
I know.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh. Dude, how lucky.
You would have lost your mind.
How lucky am I? How lucky am I?
You're upsetting the other team's feelings.
You know my wife. She's the most tame person in the world. Like, nothing phases her. Nothing. Oh, she was pissed. She's like, twice. She's like, I was like, God, it sounds like it's a good strategy. She's like, it works every time. Like, our girls, like.
Because then you let up. You feel a little sorry for them.
Correct. And then they go score. It's crazy. Like, all the momentum is one way. And it happens like it's happened in the last 5 minutes of the game twice. What are the chances?
Who's that coach?
I don't know.
What kind of crap is he teaching kids?
It's kind of wild, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of wild. So when I tell you I've seen it all, when it comes to youth sports,
this is evil.
This was a new one. That is downright evil. Truly. Is that a thing? You played soccer growing up.
No, nobody did that.
Do people fake injuries?
Not when I was growing up. They didn't fake injuries.
Kind of a crazy thing to do.
Yeah.
The girl said, I can't.
Yeah. Nobody faked injuries.
Well, and of course, all the parents are like, oh, shut up. Like, so your coach literally just told you.
Here's an inhaler.
I know. Like, you weren't even running.
Yeah.
You weren't even in the play.
So you're not even in the play.
No. The ball is on the other end when this happens.
You could just that.
No, when it happens, the ball is at the other end.
Yeah, that's
like
Bush.
The pressure's on.
Yeah, that's Bush.
Right? Like you're about to score.
And that referee's probably in on it.
I don't know.
Check his bank account.
I don't know.
Check his bank account.
Pretty wild though.
Yeah, I'm sure he got a transfer, a Zelle payment.
When I tell you, I see it all. I mean, this is 11 grand. They're 11.
They're 11, and you're teaching them that.
11.
That's terrible.
So 2 games against that team, they've tied them 1-1, and they've been up 1-0 with like less than 5 minutes.
That coach should be banned from. That coach should be banned from coaching.
It's a wild.
You should be. You should be banned for. You cannot teach kids that that's okay.
It's a wild strategy. Like, trust me. Imagine if I would have been there. I was like, thank God, thank God.
Yeah, that's weak sauce.
If I saw a coach tell a girl to go down,
number 5 has changed. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's gone from you being done with hockey to now you're the soccer dad.
Yeah, now I'm the soccer dad. I'm glad I wasn't there. I'll just tell you that.
Yeah, no, you would have. By the way, if your wife lost her, I've never seen.
I haven't either.
Yeah, it's okay. You haven't even either. You've been married to her forever.
Yeah. She was mad, buddy. She was mad. She didn't yell at she's one of those who yells to me about it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. She's not yelling there.
But you're teaching kids to cheat when things aren't going their way. Like, that's 11-year-olds.
Oh, come on.
Like, dude, that guy should be banned from coaching.
I'm
not around youth sports.
I could tell you the things I have. When William was 11, he played against we played in a basketball game, and there was a legit 14-year-old on the other team.
Yeah, you showed me those videos. Yeah,
14.
When they're when you're like 6'3", you're like, what are we doing here? Or no, didn't one of the kids drive to the game?
Dude, we were in an AAU game one time, and I saw the coaches place a bet on the game.
What in the world?
Yes, dude. Saw them.
Jeez.
Saw them place a bet on the game. I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Crazy, man. I see it all.
So, when you blame the youth,
well, I'll tell you,
have to blame the adults.
Because
that's who they learn from.
You ain't lying. So with that said, they were gone this weekend. Me and William did a bunch of stuff. I'll tell you where I went. I got out of the house more this weekend than I've gotten out of the house in forever because they were gone. So I was like, all right, William, you want to go do this? You want to go do that? And we ended up doing a whole bunch of stuff. I'll tell you all about it on the other side. Chris Vernon Show.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, 1 exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
This felt exceptionally personal with Shedeur Sanders, and it will never sit right with me.
Somebody may have missed out on a good quarterback. I don't know if Shedeur is going to be a hit or not. I am all for not taking okay quarterbacks early because you're just desperate for a quarterback. I'm fine with that. But that's not what this is.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hart live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
I thought Penny was smart to handle this the way he handled it. He expressed frustration with the system, the chaotic nature of it. The price hike on eggs ain't got nothing on the price hike on basketball players. The same dude who cost you $150,000 last summer is costing you $500,000 right now. I understand his sentiment, but he stopped well short of criticizing PJ Haggerty.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
we talked a little bit about Jalen Wells. Jalen Wells, man, he finished third in the balloting for NBA Rookie of the Year. He's going to be back. He's going to play in Summer League, and maybe he'll shoot some left-handed jumpers out there. Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Grizz Nation gets set for tip-off 1 hour before every Grizzlies home game with the warm-up show. Get the latest news, notes, and analysis live from courtside at FedEx Forum.
Who's going to be the tougher team that rebounds and prevents second-chance opportunities?
Join me, Lang Whitaker, along with Michael Wallace, Jessica Benson, and other personalities from Grind City Media, Memphis, and around the NBA. 1 hour before every home game, live at Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
Creed. By overwhelming demand, the Summer of '99 tour returns. July 27th, FedEx Forum. With special guests 3 doors down. And Mammoth WVH. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Creed returns, the Summer of '99 tour.
Bain drives. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Close. He hits and the Grizzlies have the lead.
Yeah!
Jaron with a knockaway.
Good defense.
Durant attacking, spinning, hanging, and hitting.
Let's go. Let's go.
Welcome back to the Chris Vernon Show on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, back to your host, Chris Vernon.
All right, we're back. Chris Vernon Show. All right, let's knock these out. Number 6. Oh, you know what? This is what you watched, but I am going to mention the Kentucky Derby winner, Sovereignty. Boo. By the way,
Sovereignty defeating journalism.
And our guy Sandman was 7th.
Yeah.
Muddy track. Write it off.
Muddy track.
Muddy track. Some horses are just not comfortable in the mud. That's not a right. Like, you should wait till it's dry.
You're either built for it.
Yeah, you should wait till it's dry. Some people aren't built. Sovereignty was built for the mud. That's for sure. Anyway, what'd you watch? So I mentioned to you that before, what was it, game 6? I guess it was. Yeah, game 6. That was the game that was on Friday night of the Warriors and the Rockets. Before that, earlier in the afternoon, me and William went and saw Sinners, the movie that has been talked about the most on this show, because everybody's like been to see it except for you, I think.
Yeah,
now,
I haven't seen it. Yeah.
Okay, and everybody was like, "You got to go see it in the theater. You got to go see it in the theater." I went and looked at Rotten Tomatoes. It had like a 98. And I was like, okay, this is pretty unanimous, right? Like, everybody likes this. And I will say, it's like 2 hours and 20-something minutes, and I will echo what Devin said. I was never bored. The entire time, which is usually if a movie's that long, there's going to be portions where I'm just like, oh, come on, let's get to the good stuff. I liked it, man. I did. And it was, the reason I liked it is 2 things. Number 1, I like things that are unique, you know? And this was very unique. I will say this. I did absolutely no, what's it called? I did no spoilers, no. I didn't know anything. I didn't even know the plot. I didn't even know, like, what goes on in this movie. I just knew that Michael B. Jordan was in it, and I knew that everybody keeps talking about it and going to see it, and that it's the first movie in a long time that I can remember seeing everybody saying, you need to go to the theater, you need to go to the theater, you need to go to the theater to see it. I asked him. So I'd asked everybody around here. I was like, "What do you think? Like, he's 15 or whatever." And they're like, "Yeah, it's not that. There's gore and there's some cursing, but And I was like, "There's no like hardcore nudity or anything like that." No. And I was like, "All right." And then I asked him, just randomly. I was like, "Hey, has any of your buddies mentioned this to you?" And he's like, "Yeah." And so like 2 or 3 others had gone. They had seen it. And I was like, okay, well, he's going to see it anyway when it comes out, right, on HBO Max or whatever the hell it comes out on. I was like, so, and I was told that there's no not a ton of cuss. It's not super vulgar. Like, it does get gory, right? Blood and it's vampire. There's vampires in it, whatever. But it's super entertaining, man. I will say, like, everybody kept telling me, go see it. And I do think it is one of those theater movies. I do. And, it's based in Clarksdale, Mississippi, and the blues and whatever. And so I dug it. I honestly think it is one of those that I think there's a lot of, I don't go to a ton of movies. I don't watch a ton of movies. But it's one that you'll remember. Like, you'll always remember it.
Yeah.
And so that's why I like it, because it's unique. It's different than anything else. And, again, if you can entertain me for 2.5 hours, then you're doing pretty good. Right? So I, like everybody else, thumbs up. It was fun to watch. It was fun to go to. What'd you do? Did you watch anything?
I did not watch anything. I watched, I just watched the basketball games yesterday. I did manual labor yesterday.
Oh, wow.
I am a professional pressure washer.
Oh, and Devin was going to Nashville. I was going to have to entertain my son, and then you said you were having to go to a wedding.
I went to a wedding.
Somebody that you met 3 weeks ago.
Yes. John Rutledge, shout out to you and
How was that?
And your wife Olivia. Yeah, getting married. It was great. The reception was down at the Metal Museum. Downtown, which is that's the 5th reception I think I've been to probably down there. It's a great spot.
Your girlfriend didn't catch the thing, did she?
No.
Oh, so you were.
We had left before
the
she
garter
threw
or whatever.
The bouquet. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh,
yeah.
the bouquet.
No, I didn't. But I met several listeners. Shout out to Bobby Scott.
Okay.
Listens every day. He's like, I work from home. I love your show.
So you met
I love it.
Loves
bunch
the
of
people
show.
at the wedding. That's good.
Yeah. And then I met this one guy walked right up to me. And he goes, "Are you John Roser?" And I said, "Yes, I am." He goes, 10 years ago, he said, it was about 10 years ago maybe. I may get some of the wording wrong with this, but it's about 10 years ago. He said, I was at Max's Sports Bar, and Chris Vernon and Gary Parrish and I think your buddy Mark all came in. And I think you were not there. You were gone, or you had already gone for the night or something like that. He's like, I don't know. Or you just weren't there. And they said,
am I going to like this story?
They said, hey, can we take a picture of you? Because you look just like our friend Roser. And this is the guy for years
Fake Roser?
That everybody called Fake Roser. And Jalen, I sent you this picture. So that is me taking a shot at the bar right there. And then if you zoom in on that picture at the end of the bar, that is Fake Roser.
Wait, can you zoom in?
I don't know if you can zoom in, but that's me closest with a shot of something in my hand, probably Jaeger or something. And then if you zoomed in on the picture at the end of the bar, that was Fake Roser.
And Fake Roser found you at a wedding?
And Fake Roser is still around, walked right up to me. I should have gotten a picture
like
with him.
You?
I was so like...
Does he look like you?
No. I mean, no. There's Fake... Dude, it is pretty accurate. I mean, that is...
Fake Roser.
No.
10 years later.
No. But his name's Colin. I said, what is your name? And he goes, I think
his name's Fake Roser.
That's all I've ever known you as is Fake Roser. So my name's Colin. I was like, it's nice to meet you, man. And I should have gotten a picture with him, but I just, it was when we were about to leave. We were about to head out. But
that's tough.
I thought you would appreciate it because I know you remember Fake Roser.
Oh my God, that is amazing. That is amazing.
Yeah.
Rolled up on you.
But yeah, met several people. It was a great wedding. It was a great time.
I did too.
Great food.
I'm going to get to 7 because I'm about to talk about Riverbeat. So here's what happened. On Saturday, so I had bought tickets to Riverbeat in advance for Saturday because one of my buddies and his son, who is friends with my son, they were going downtown to the game or to the festival. Like they were for sure going to the festival. Okay, and so I was like, all right, if we go, then we'll come meet up with you guys, and then my son's got somebody to run around with, and now I know there's other adults there. I'll be able to, I'll have somebody to be with. Because I'd really love to pay it forward to Chuck D for saying the nice things about me, and Public Enemy's going to be performing there. And I love the Killers, and I would love to see them in person. So I bought the tickets. They were like $99 a piece, I think, or whatever. And I thought and the reason I bought them in advance is because somebody told me, they're like, hey, they're saying it's going to sell out. And I was like, what are you talking about, sell out? And they're like, yeah, they're saying it's going to sell out. And I was like, all right, well, I guess I better get the tickets just in case. And then I was either going to resell them to somebody or give them to somebody if I decided not to go or if he didn't want to go. So on Saturday afternoon, the weather starts to look like super nice. I'm like, hey, man. I was like, I've got those tickets. I was like, let's go do it. You want to do it? And he's like, yeah. I was like, all right. I was like, we'll get down there and we'll go see Public Enemy and the Killers. So I wasn't there the whole day, right? I went for that. So anyways, we go down there and we walk up to the box office because obviously the tickets are at will call. And there's two girls in front of us, like maybe college-age girls. And one of them has is getting her ticket from will call, and the other one wants to buy a ticket. And I look up, and there are signs everywhere. Saturday is sold out. And true to form, like this other girl, like she could not get a ticket. She walked up to the box office to try to get in, and she's like, I'll just Uber back. And her friend's like, no, don't leave. Like we're watching this play out in front of us. I was like, I'll be damned, it's really sold out? And they were like, yeah, it's sold out.
And you can't get them like on the...
No. Like, I don't know. Yeah. I'm saying at the box office.
Yeah,
it was sold out. So I'm like, oh, God. You got to be kidding me, right? Like, to me, if it's sold out, you and I have been to a million different music fests, outdoor, whatever. I'm like, this is going to be everything I hate.
I've been to a music fest when it's sold out.
I'm like, this is going to be the worst. So we walk in, and right at the front stage, Cage the Elephant was playing. Old band. They're really good, too. And so as I'm walking in, I'm like walking around, and I'm like, hold on a second now. I was like, this ain't bad. Now, let me just go ahead. I do not know. I've never kept up with all the stuff that's going on with Memphis in May and who runs this and who runs that, and that this is the new one, and it's called Riverbeat. I don't know who puts this on.
It's the same.
I don't know.
It's the same people that do Mempho Fest.
Okay, I don't know who puts this on. I don't know who's in charge of this. I don't know anything. Hand to God, Roser. It was by far the best festival experience I have ever had. It's not even close. I don't know who runs this. I don't know if they just don't sell so many tickets that it's horrible. You could get drinks. You could go to the bathroom. I didn't see anybody like passed out. I didn't see any fights. Like again, it's the first time I'm taking my 15-year-old to this. We walked, everybody had their own space. Like you could we had tons of space around us. We walked through the crowd at Public Enemy and probably got 15 feet from the stage just because there's space to walk between everything. Like at one point, he was like, hey, I'm going to go to the bathroom. And I was like, all right, hey, just meet me on the back right, whatever, right where all that stuff is. He's like, all right. And there was just open space. He could just meet me, where I told him to meet me or whatever. Walked over to the merch stand, walked straight up, bought our merch. It was awesome. Absolutely awesome. The thing I hate about festivals is the crowds, right? I'm old now. I don't want to stand in a 30-minute line to take a piss. I don't want to stand in a 30-minute line to get a drink. I don't want to have to stand side by side with somebody. I want to have to step over a bunch of trash and passed out people.
Yep.
And none of that was relevant. None of it.
That's awesome.
Bro, whoever puts this on, you get an A+ from Chris Vernon. You're unbelievable, truly. Like, number one, Public Enemy was awesome. At one point during Public Enemy, William loved it. At one point during Public Enemy, do you know Chuck D stopped and he goes, and of course, Flavor Flav's like, yeah, boy. And Chuck D, he said, certainly appreciate you guys all coming out. We love Memphis, blah, blah. He's like, not so bad for a guy 65 and 66. And I was like, what?
Really? They're that old?
He said that. William looked at me like, what? 65 and 66? That's what he said.
It's Mempho Presents is the name of the company that puts
They
it
are
on.
awesome.
Yeah.
Shout out to you.
Yeah, Chuck D 64. 64. And
that's what he said in the middle of the thing.
And Flavor Flav is 66, yeah.
That's crazy.
That's nuts.
High energy, dude, they were great.
I saw some of the videos. Yeah.
It was awesome. And then,
so I don't know, like Beale Street. So I know Beale Street Music Fest. I know I think the max they did per day was 30,000 people. I think 30,000 was the max per day.
All I'm telling you is the thing was sold out, and you could go to the bathroom, you could get a drink, you could get something to eat, you could watch the concert in a close vicinity.
And they do 2 stages, right?
3.
3? They have 3 stages.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Because I've met a ton of listeners out there.
The park is so much nicer now, too.
I met a ton of listeners out there, and at the time I was going to Public Enemy, people would like walk by, and I would like say, hey, they would come up and say hey or whatever, because me and William were standing in the back kind of at the beginning of it, and they were walking to the far stage. The far stage was Yacht Rock Review.
Oh, let's go.
I don't know. Anyway, I was a Public Enemy, and then we went to the Killers. And that was it from 9:30 to 11. Bro, I've always wanted to see them. And it was
great.
Oh, they're amazing.
Yeah.
They're amazing. And it was at night, the screens look awesome. Like the screens on the side, right? Screens look awesome. Stage looked awesome. The river is beautiful outside. It's kind of maybe 65 degrees or something. It was perfect, honestly. Honestly, I could not have imagined having a better time, and he loved it. And I was telling my wife last night, I was like, man, our festival experiences were never like this. No lie, 10 years ago, probably, I think it was Modest Yahoo or somebody like that. Somebody I wanted to see was playing there. And I was downtown, and I was like, and somebody gave me a ticket. Gave me and my wife a ticket. So I'm like, all right. So we walk down the stairs, where Beale Street is, right? From whatever. We walk down the stairs, walk in one of the side gates, whatever. And I'm like, I gotta go to the bathroom. I walk over, and it is pandemonium. And the line for the bathroom is 50 deep. And I was like, I can't do this. And I swear to God, I left. I didn't even stay. I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this crowd. This is for somebody young.
Yeah.
This is not for me. This is not for me. I can't do this. I'm not standing in line for an hour to take a piss. And my other option is to piss on the ground, which people are doing.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And it was just not like that at all. It was clean. It was nice. It was everybody had their space, and there was no lines. And it was sold out. And I was like, whoever's idea this was to limit the tickets, this was genius, because it makes the experience unbelievable.
Yeah.
Truly. And so keep it the way you had it. Keep it the way you had it, please, because that makes it for such a good festival, truly. I never thought I'd go to one again, honestly. Just, I'm too old now. So this was a random occurrence that I went to it. But, bro, if they bring people I like, I'll go again.
If you're going to be...
If it's going to be like that, I'll go. Because it was nothing like Memphis in May.
No, I remember those.
Nothing.
I think the last time I was at Memphis in May.
God, it's the worst.
No, it was.
It's muddy. There's piss on the ground.
So
there's people fighting. There's 50
sometimes
person lines.
Sometimes a fight's happening because somebody's peeing on the ground. No, the last time I was at Music Fest, it was Juicy J, and then it was Post Malone, and it was right after. Like they booked him before the price of the brick went up.
Right.
So it was. Like,
I remember.
It was like 2 weeks after Beer Bongs and Bentleys came out. So he was like one of the biggest artists in the world.
And there's 100 million people.
Oh, you couldn't move.
No.
You couldn't move.
No.
It was a great show. I mean, Post Malone's great.
That was 2018.
Damn, that was forever.
I know. 7 years ago. I mean, you could walk around everywhere. It was great, man. It was great.
Cool.
Riverbeat, you get a big ups, man, because I am not your. Maybe I am your target demographic. I don't know. It's Public Enemy and the Killers.
Right. I'm interested to see what they bring next year. Then I may have to go down there.
I mean, I thought it was like as good as Memphis can be.
Yeah.
Honestly, like the river, pretty.
And it
was
rained
so well
Friday
handled.
night, didn't it? Like late Friday night into the night.
It was so good. It was so good.
The weather was pretty solid though.
Yeah,
which you never know first weekend.
I was a big fan. Big fan. And you know what? It's the first time my son's ever been to a
music festival, yeah.
And he was like, "This is awesome." And I was like, "It is awesome, and it's nothing like I thought it was going to be."
Yeah, right.
This is not what I remember. It was not like the music fest of our youth. Nothing like it.
Yeah.
So this company does great.
Memfo presents.
Yeah, they get it. Number 8, college football news. All right, so first we got to get to this Sharon Moore story. So Sharon Moore is getting a 2-game suspension during the 2025 season, which is self-imposed for the whole Connor Stallions thing.
Yeah.
Okay? So, and then they say, but he's missing weeks 3 and 4. And I was like, what? And evidently, it's so he can coach the first game, which is against a nobody. And then the second game, he played at Oklahoma. These are always dicey to me. And the NCAA is going to rule on all this stuff too. But it's like, bro, if you are going to suspend him and be like, we understand the seriousness of this, to me, it kind of falls on deaf ears if you're like, we understand the seriousness of this and we are suspending him. But not the game against his alma mater.
Right.
We're gonna who suspends somebody for games 3 and 4?
Right.
It reminds me of years ago when like somebody would get in trouble in the offseason and John Calipari would be like, we're suspending him for the first 2 conference games. It'd be like, we played in Conference USA. Be like, okay. Like, this is goofy. Anyway, the NCAA is still investigating the sign stealing thing, and they had already issued them a notice of allegations. And I guess this one comes up. I'm like, well, what is going on with that? Like, Harbaugh was the coach then, right? He was. But they're saying that the story comes out about Connor Stallions, or I guess the notice of allegations. And Sharon Moore went and deleted 52 text message conversations. Or 52. It's like when Brady destroyed his phone during Deflategate.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, dude. So he deleted the text, and then they can retrieve text. So they were able to retrieve them. And so it is what it is.
Right, it is what
like
it is,
everybody
yeah.
knows what you were doing, okay?
Right.
And so now they're like, well, we're going to suspend him for 2 games. So I can't wait to see what happens with all of this and if they end up holding it up. But they are still investigating it, and they are saying that like there could be like a postseason ban. Like you don't know. You don't know what could happen to them. Depends on what the NCAA is going to do. I just think this is, to me, it's a little bit of a slap in the NCAA's face when you're like, we understand the seriousness of this. Therefore, we are self-imposing a 2-game suspension for our head coach in games 3 and 4 so he can coach against Oklahoma, his alma mater. Like, what? Okay. It's a hard sell on the we know the seriousness of this. So that's college football story number 1. The other college football story, and this one is crazy.
The Clemson?
No. What do you know about? What's that?
Dude, did you know the basketball player that plays at Clemson, the Ian Scheffler or whatever?
Okay.
He was like their leading scorer last year. He's like the number 4 kind of chubby white guy or whatever.
Okay.
Well, he's going to play for the football team next year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's going to play for the Clemson football team. Dabo recruited him. They put out a press release and everything
Oh,
about
wow.
it.
No,
Yeah.
this is the one I was going to talk about because there's a couple of things here that I had no idea were going on. Okay. Last week, this is going to be the second time in less than a week that we have mentioned Sacramento State on the show.
Yeah, because of Bibby and Shaq.
And?
Oh, they got Mikey Williams.
Mikey Williams.
Yeah.
Okay? So then I see this other story about Sacramento State. And I'm like, what? Number one, Sacramento State hired, which I did not know, Brennan Marion, who was that offensive coordinator at UNLV that I loved.
Oh, okay.
Who was a Norvell guy and a Todd
Right.
Graham guy. He black guy, and he would wear the V-necks with the big gold chain that said
Yeah.
"Go-Go"
Yeah.
for go-go
the
offense.
go-go offense, yeah.
Yeah, I love this guy. They hired him at Sacramento State. He just got Jaden Rashada, who was the kid that went to Florida, had the NIL deal. It didn't come to pass. Then he sued Billy Napier. Do you remember this?
Oh,
Then he
that's
went to
right.
Georgia. Like it was like all-time bag fumbling. and whatever.
Right.
He's going to play football at Sacramento State, it says.
Huh.
It said Brennan Marion's Hornets have cleared the runway for Rashada to be QB1. The most decorated quarterback from the 2023 class has become the most recognizable faces and cautionary tales of the NIL era due to high-profile events, including a fallout and a lawsuit with Billy Napier. Then he played a season at Arizona State after a botched $13.8 million NIL deal with Florida fell through. Then he transferred to Georgia, where he didn't appear in a game, and now entered the transfer portal again, and they thought maybe Western Kentucky or Tulane or maybe even North Carolina had a cup of coffee with him. Sacramento State, which is they're FCS and are going to be making a move to FBS, but it said that that's where he is going now.
Huh.
Sacramento State's got Mikey Williams and Jaden Rashada. Crazy.
So-
These are the two of the most famous high school athletes of the last 10 years.
Yeah.
So crazy.
Yeah, so he was originally going to go to Miami, then to Florida.
Yes.
Then this kid just bounces around. Who's ever going to give him the money?
So Marion knew him because he tried to recruit him to Texas, but they ended up getting Arch Manning.
Yeah.
And then I was reading this thing, and it said that Rashada transferring to Georgia was a similar path as Dante Moore, another member of the star-studded 2023 recruiting class that happened last offseason. Moore went to Oregon to be Dylan Gabriel's backup after spending his freshman year at UCLA. You remember that?
Yeah.
Nearly every high-profile quarterback from the starry class of 2023 has transferred. The only five-star quarterback still standing at his school is Arch Manning.
Arch Manning,
That's it.
yeah.
The only one. Because that whole class was loaded. And this kid was supposed to be the guy, Jaden Rashada. I mean, look at the schools we just mentioned that wanted him. Now he's at Sacramento State? This is just crazy. They even have a camera at their games?
Class of 2023.
Crazy. Truly crazy.
Quarterback rankings. Class of 2023. Yeah. I mean, this is,
Jaden Rashada was...
Arch, Nico, Dante Moore, Jackson Arnold, Malachi Nelson, Jaden Rashada.
Loaded.
Yeah.
This kid's at Sacramento State now.
Oh, no, that kid at Kansas State's still there, right?
Who?
Avery Johnson?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
All right, we got to take one more quick break. When we come back, we'll knock out the end. Chris Vernon Show.
Creed. By overwhelming demand, the Summer of '99 tour returns. July 27th, FedEx Forum. With special guest 3 doors down. At Mammoth WVH. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Creed returns, the Summer of '99 tour.
Bain drives. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Close. He hits and the Grizzlies have the lead. Yeah! Jarrett with a knockaway. Good defense. Durant attacking, spinning, hanging, and hitting. Let's go!
Shinedown. Dance Kid Dance Tour. Live in Memphis. FedEx Forum, Saturday, August 30th. With special guests, Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit shinedown.com.
Double your chances to win all month long in March with 2 big promotions. On Fridays, embrace the madness and win a share of $150,000 in cash and free play. On Saturdays, starting March 8th, go for the gold and win your share of up to $10,000 in cash and free play in the 80K Fool's Gold giveaway. Enjoy live entertainment all month long and play for your chance to win big in March only at Southland Casino Hotel. Must be 21 or up. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700. This felt exceptionally personal with Shedeur Sanders, and it will never sit right with me.
Somebody may have missed out on a good quarterback. I don't know if Shedeur is going to be a hit or not. I am all for not taking okay quarterbacks early because you're just desperate for a quarterback. I'm fine with that. But that's not what this is.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hart live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
I thought Penny was smart to handle this the way he handled it. He expressed frustration with the system, the chaotic nature of it. The price hike on eggs ain't got nothing on the price hike on basketball players. The same dude who cost you $150,000 last summer is costing you $500,000 right now. I understand his sentiment, but he stopped well short of criticizing PJ Haggerty.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
We talked a little bit about Jalen Wells. Jalen Wells, man, he finished 3rd in the balloting for NBA Rookie of the Year. He's going to be back. He's going to play in Summer League, and maybe he'll shoot some left-handed jumpers out there. Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Grizz Nation gets set for tip-off 1 hour before every Grizzlies home game with the warm-up show. Get the latest news, notes, and analysis live from courtside at FedEx Forum.
Who's going to be the tougher team that rebounds and prevents second-chance opportunities?
Join me, Lang Whitaker, along with Michael Wallace, Jessica Benson, and other personalities from Grind City Media, Memphis, and around the NBA. 1 hour before every home game, live at Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
Welcome back to the Chris Vernon Show on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, back to your host, Chris Vernon.
All right, I ain't got long, so let's knock out these last 2. Number 9, Scottie Scheffler back. So we've got, 2 weeks until Quail Hollow, the PGA Championship, the next major. And Scottie Scheffler in this last tournament, the Byron Nelson this past weekend, in his hometown no less, shot 31 under. Second place was Eric Van Rooyen at 23 under. And they said during the broadcast yesterday, if you took every player's best day, all right? So this guy had the best score. This guy, Spieth was like 10 under yesterday.
Yeah.
Took everybody's best score, that they still would not have beaten Scottie Scheffler. Cole Nose said players and caddies are all texting me during this, like, what is happening? It was like 2000 Tiger Woods stuff.
That's crazy.
And so he might have gotten it back. And obviously Quail Hollow, the next major, I mean, beat beating everybody by 8 strokes is unbelievable. And he's locked in right now, so watch out for him. Him versus Rory at Quail Hollow will be a showdown for the ages. Number 10 tonight. Here's what we got. Boston and New York at 6 o'clock. Then at 8:30. This is the one great thing about the Clippers not winning. We get these 8:30s. It's a late game. At least I'm not doing 9:30s anymore. I can't do the 9:30s. They hurt.
They're the worst. We may have some with the Warriors, but
who would you be more shocked if they won game 1, the Knicks or the Nuggets?
The Knicks. The Knicks.
I think I agree.
I think Boston's awesome. I don't think New York's.
These are good games tonight, though.
They are.
These are good games tonight. So that's what we got honed in on with Boston and New York at 6, and then we got the 8:30 game tonight. We will talk about all of it tomorrow. Thanks to Rosa Across the Glass. Thanks to Jalen back in the studio. We will be back tomorrow. Until then, we go.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition